Hi guys, this is Erica from Gokce Capital. Now before I begin, be sure to click subscribe and turn on the notification bell. On the western slope of the La Have River Valley in Nova Scotia, there is a special place. One so special that Jim and Margaret Drescher nearly went bankrupt trying to protect it. What is this place? We'll find out at the end of this video. But first, if you are in the market for land, you may come across a woodlot. And in today's video, we have the top things you should know about these unique properties. Number 1. What is a woodlot? A woodlot is defined as a parcel of woodland or forest capable of small-scale production and recreational uses. Its defining characteristic is the parcel size or quality of the wood. This is to say that woodlots are generally too small for full-scale commercial harvesting. Number 2. What are the uses of a woodlot? Woodlots can produce forest products such as wood fuel, sap, saw logs, and pulpwood. They can also be used for recreational purposes like bird watching, bushwalking, and wildflower appreciation. Number 3. How do you know the value of the trees on your woodlot? There are a variety of factors that can impact your tree's value, including quality, determined by log diameter, length, species, and the presence or absence of defects, proximity to mills and markets, site conditions, in particular soil quality, proximity to water and stream crossings, which could increase logging costs, and a number of other factors including the volume of trees per acre, the shape of the site, distance to roads, and any owner-imposed restrictions on cutting. Number 4. If you want to sell timber from your woodlot, how do you go about marketing it? Well, to start with, for the best outcome, you should hire a consulting forester to work on your behalf. The forester will oversee the process for you and help you to maximize your profit. Either way, either you or the forester will then have to determine the value of the standing timber on your land, devise a plan to determine which trees to cut and how to harvest them, notify potential buyers of the impending sale and solicit bids, negotiate a contract with a buyer, and then oversee the harvest and conduct a post-harvest follow-up before closing the contract. Number 5. How can you improve your woodlot? Understanding how to manage your woodlot correctly and implementing improvements can increase its value. Some things you may want to consider include developing roads or clearly delineating your boundary lines. Of course, you can harvest or thin trees. Alternatively, you can plant more trees to help regenerate a forest. You can identify specialty markets for woodlot products such as Christmas tree production, maple syrup, or mushrooms. And you can develop recreational options such as paths for both hikers and various kinds of vehicles, or areas for camping or gathering. And number 6, what are the benefits of woodlot improvement? There are numerous advantages to improved woodlots, including enhanced wildlife habitat, forest regeneration, greater forest health, reduced wildfire hazard, increased carbon storage capacity, added income from forestry products, prime outdoor recreational space, and firewood, which is actually why woodlots used to exist in the first place. In fact, in my community, probably about 50% of all homeowners use wood as a primary heating source by choice. Although, I think the reason for the woodlot's persistence is not simply because it is a store of cheap fuel. As one land buyer once mentioned to me, I would just like to say I own a small forest. For forests, no matter how big, inspire something in us. They make us think about our life, our legacy, our connection to nature, and our place in history. Which brings me to the story of Jim and Margaret Drescher. When you walk Jim and Margaret's woodlot in southwest Nova Scotia, you will find stands of eastern hemlock, one of the longest living species in the Wabanaki Acadian forest. The limbs of these giants painted deep green canvas even in December, and if you were to walk through the paths of the Drescher's woodlot, You, like Jim, may find yourself stopping between two of these towering trees to consider your place in the world. It is a landscape that is both unusual and typical. Typical because most of southwest Nova Scotia looked just like it once. Unusual because today, less than 1% of the region's forests fall into the category of old growth. Before the Dreschers bought the property, it had been owned for generations by a family of careful forest stewards. Yet, by the 1990s, the prior owners were aging and childless, and the timber brokers were circling. At the time, the Dreschers were on the verge of personal bankruptcy. Still, given Jim's background in forestry, they continued to keep an eye out for woodlots on the market. So, when the couple heard about the potential sale of the Windhorse farm, they knew they had to do something. There was such an incredible feeling of wealth and peace and abundance, said Margaret. How could we let this be clear-cut? So they borrowed funds for a down payment from a friend, packed up their lives, and moved to the land, where they have been practicing ecological forestry ever since. Yet the story doesn't end here. There is an old maple tree in the woodlot, known as Mother Maple, whose age is unknown, but the Dreschers estimate that it's been growing for hundreds of years. It's surrounded by a sizable clearing that doesn't seem entirely natural, and a Mi'kmaq elder suggested that the clearing may have once been a place for Mi'kmaq ceremonies in the days before Columbus's arrival. Whether this is true or not, it is certain that many of the more ancient trees on the property were once stewarded by the people of the Mi'kmaq Nation, a people for whom the forest is still ancestral and unceded territory. The Dreschers were well aware of this history, and their dream was always to return Windhorse Farm to the Mi'kmaq. For decades, it wasn't clear how this could happen until the Dreschers met Chris Gugu, the COO of Ulnuweg, a Mi'kmaq education and economic development organization. Chris and the Dreschers were able to work out a deal that was part purchase, part gift, and which ultimately led to the transfer of the Windhorse Farm to the Ulnuweg Education Center in 2021. Chris believes this is the first time a land transfer like this has ever happened in Nova Scotia, and he plans to keep the ancient woodlot open to the public. The goal is to create a place of learning and reconciliation where Canadians of all backgrounds can come to learn about the land. We are all sitting around the fire of life as equals, said Chris. We want to share that and hopefully create those same relationships that go back to the original intent of the treaties hundreds of years ago. So what do you think? Do you have a special woodlot that you steward? Let us know in the comments. Did you like this video? You're going to love our Gokce Land Due Diligence program. We'll make you a land due diligence expert in just 7 days. Check it out at gokcecapital.com/glad. And while you're at our website, don't forget to explore our $1 down listings at gokcecapital.com/listings. Finally, don't hesitate to reach out. You can email, call, or text, and we will respond as soon as possible. So thank you for listening, and more to come.